How old are you?
16.
18? You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Alright, so in my previous part, I talked in depth about how Hasan Piker is a terrorist supporter, and in this video I'm going to be talking about him being a degenerate, about him going to that brothel in Germany, which was later raided for having sex trafficked minors. He said it was only because of tax fraud, but if you literally look at the Wikipedia, it says that it was raided by 900 police officers investigating human trafficking and tax evasion. So yes, there was tax evasion, but 900 officers wouldn't show up at a place specifically just because somebody didn't fill out a W-2. I'm going to be talking about him, like his behavior with some of his ex-girlfriends and some of the things that they have to say about him in general. I'm going to talk about the Diddy party that he went to, and his fans, for whatever reason, choose to ignore the fact that he said so with his own mouth that he did go to the Diddy party. And I'm going to be talking about how he denied that rapes happened on October 7th and that prisoners held by Hamas have been raped. Without further ado, I'm going to get started on this.
What are you, a hooker?
No, I'm a movie star.
Well, Miss Movie Star, Vinny don't pay for it. You know what I'm talking about? Vinny never pays for it.
Had an escort? No shame. Obviously, sex work is real work. I've had sex with not even escorts, but also straight. I've gone to a brothel, Artemis in Berlin, and had sex with the workers there. Yes.
Alright, yeah, so I'm going to get started talking about Artemis, the brothel that Hasan Piker went to that was later raided for sex trafficking minors. And here's what's known. I'm just going to read some stuff off from the Wikipedia, and then there was a post on Reddit that was put out by some guy named US ModCon, so that's where I'm getting the information from. This guy also linked articles for everything that he had to say, so if you're wondering where I got my information, it's literally the Wikipedia and a Reddit post. But in the Wikipedia, it says that the brothel was closed inside of 2016 because there was a human trafficking scandal that wound up being uncovered there. And yeah, so here's the thing, when it and it was also operated and had members of the Hells Angels that were working there. And basically, the person who wound up being the whistleblower for this was a sex trafficked minor. And I'm not sure what their age is. I believe it's either 16 or 15. I'm not sure where I remember seeing that information. If I do find where I got that particular information from, I will put that inside the comments. But yeah, the girl who wound up being the whistleblower, and this is disgusting because it's showing on the Wikipedia how much they were charging for people to enter, and okay, so this place had 49 employees, so the odds of Hasan specifically sleeping with that particular minor is minuscule. Actually, I think that according to the post, yeah, he was talking about in 2010 going there, so it's very unlikely that the particular girl who wound up exposing the place for what it is, a place where the Hells Angels had made minors work as sex slaves. But what they would charge is a $90 entry fee and then $70, well, €70 to have sex for a half an hour. And they would collect €30 from it for the purposes of tax reasons, which the place did, like, launder some money. They hid it from the government, and that's the other half of the reason why they were shut down. And the girl who was the whistleblower had the name of her pimp/boyfriend tattooed on her chest. It said property of Ermine, and I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that last name, so if I wind up fumbling it, like Muratagic or whatever. But he demanded €1,000 from her a day, and an additional €30, like €1,000 a day, and then €3,000 in addition to that per week. And he'd also beat and rape her until she was no longer able to sit. And so let's say like that she was making 130 like post taxes from just a single customer, like for the half-hour service. That would still require that, like, for her to get the $3,000 for her weekly expense that this guy was demanding, she'd have to sleep with 23 people in the time of that week, just for that 1 week. And then for like what she had to do daily, she had to do, it's saying like 7.69 people. So, and like some people, they might last longer, so you know they'd go into it and buy an extra half an hour. But roughly 8 people a day, which is fucking disgusting. So, just, like, if she didn't need extra money for, like, herself, for, like, food and whatnot, like, let me see then. So, 7 days a week, plus the additional. So, this guy was getting €10,000 weekly from this girl. And if she was making like 130, like that is my rough estimation, because like post taxes, that would still mean that she had to sleep with roughly 77 people in a week just so that she could pay her abuser the money that he demanded from her. This place was shut down for sex trafficking, and 6 people were locked up in prison for this. And this is the place that Hasan wound up, like, admitting that he went to and had sex there. And quite frankly, like, if he'd have said nothing, nobody would have known about this. Like, it turns my stomach, like, just thinking about that. And here's another thing. When it comes down to prostitution in Germany, it is legal, but it becomes illegal when the people are sex trafficked sex slaves. And what that winds up doing is, if a person does have sex with one of those people, because they legally could not give consent, that automatically makes it rape. Because they, although they're prostitutes, legally could not give their consent. And I'm not necessarily saying that Hasan did sleep with a prostitute who was a sex slave, but I'm just saying that this is the type of establishment that he spends his money in. Yeah, so this is an article that was written by Medium, and like it is an absolutely crazy read. Like it talking about how before an interview he was talking to the journalist that he was going to be like doing the interview with, and apparently some people did wind up sending him some unsolicited nudes, and like, yeah, getting nudes from somebody you don't know, like, not exactly the best thing, but the moment that you show those nudes that you received to somebody else, that's when it becomes a crime. Like, that is like textbook definition of distribution of revenge porn. Like, if any of my ex-girlfriends, like, if I were to go and show people just like, hey, you want to see my ex-girlfriend's, like, cooter? Like, the moment I show that to somebody else, that is a crime being committed. And he was saying it said inside the interview that it was, like, him just being like, I don't know if there's going to be any nudes, so don't judge me. Yeah, right here. And then how he, like, described by the journalist that found, like, that he was talking to, like, he described it as methodically opening up sexual content. Like, the guy was straight up like, oh, there might be nudes, just don't worry about it. It happens. I'm famous. Oh, hey, look, this person's getting fucking railed in the butt. Is it that cool? Yeah, and then, like, later on down here, he was talking about this chick, Janice Griffith, and how he filed a false police report saying that she tried to kill herself, so he had the police do a wellness check on her, and she said that she wasn't suicidal at all, when later on writing about it on X, that she wasn't suicidal, she didn't have any desire to take her own life. So, and like, Hasan was claiming that that she was overdosing, and yeah, like casually just using misinformation to harass an ex-girlfriend, and using taxpayer dollars to, like, fund it. So, you know, it's all in the article. If this turns out to be false, like, this is the person I'm getting the information from, and like this, it just keeps on going off on him inside of it, talking about how he has a history of rape denial, him having just some of the most wild takes, like for white women to be taking up the surnames of Asians to somehow get the N-word passed to use in interracial porn. Like, who the fuck starts a conversation like that?
What about the ones that key your car and light your shit on fire because you didn't fucking answer a text? What about them? How about you believe like 88%, and that last 12% that's out of their fucking minds? You know, I think that's a fair percentage, wouldn't you?
The reason for... No, I'm not giggling. I'm cringing.
You sure are.
Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about?
What rapes did Hamas do?
Anti-Semitism account that considered me to be anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again because they're fucking mentally ill.
Hamas has committed...
That's something you go to a lot. You notice that?
What?
Call people mentally ill. I find that odd. Probably should revise that. I don't know if that's kosher for leftist values.
I absolutely loved that clip from the Ethan Klein debate because the whole lead up to that was Hasan being like, oh, you're saying that I deny rape. I don't deny rape. I don't do this. And Ethan was just like, oh, really? Yeah, sure. You're saying that you don't do that? Okay, then let's watch you full context say that, like, deny that rapes happened. Like, I got nothing to say to that. It is an incredibly horrible thing that Hasan and his fan base does, where they deny the human tragedies that these fucking animals are doing to people. These Hamas, these Houthi terrorists, like, overall just massive scumbag. And, you know, being caught in 4K with a live audience of not only his fans, but Ethan's fans as well. Just like, yep, you are 4K caught watching yourself in the past in 4K. If this was like a court case, like, he would get laughed out being like, oh, this is defamation. Yeah, he's making this crap up about me. All right, Your Honor, Exhibit A. It's just, yeah, the dude's a rape denier.
How unlucky is that? Like, imagine if Diddy Kong over there was just minding his own business for decades, and bam, some other guy named Diddy got arrested for some kind of super serious crime, and the name Diddy was tainted forever, and everyone would always associate Diddy with that other guy? That'd be nuts, right, Diddy?
This like back like sphere Epcot looking thing in the back of like the house that P. Diddy was renting for his and was throwing after parties.
The house that who was renting? Who?
Parties at Coachella, and they were playing like these crazy things for people who are high. Not me, of course. I had only eaten portobello mushrooms, and one of the images that they were playing was like this little girl.
What? Was what? Say that again. What?
And one of the images that they were playing was like this little girl.
One more time. But he forgot, guys. He forgot.
This like supposedly attractive, very
What? Oh my god. Brother, this is the most cooked clip of all time. Jesus.
very young girl.
Oh my god, stop. Why do you keep making it worse? Every word he says, it keeps getting worse.
Was like this little girl, this like supposedly attractive, very young girl, like opening up a Christmas gift. And I think I told you about this, where I was like, this is some real weird Alex Jones style pedo thing here. I walked into the.
So he remembers a lot of details about the Diddy party he attended. Jesus Christ.
Man, it is so much easier to find footage of people reacting to him admitting to going to a Diddy party than it is to find the original clip. But yeah, he fucking went. Now then, apparently, like, from what I understand from the P. Diddy case, is that what Diddy would do is he would have two parties. There'd be the party that's like a little bit more public, that way, like, it's just like people can see him, and then there was the baby oil Diddy party that would happen afterwards. And like, even this, talking like about the regular party, if that's what he went to, like, apparently there was some weird shit going down at the one that was supposed to be for the general public and for just the public perception. But yeah, I don't know. Hasan, like, when he lies, he is super obvious with it. Like him saying that he only ate a portobello mushroom. Firstly, dude, like, nobody's gonna care if you were high. Like, but like, oh yeah, everybody was high. except for me, I wasn't high. I was the good boy. I don't ever do bad things. No wrong whatsoever. I never, nope, like that. Like, I only did portobello mushrooms. Like, it is so obvious and so fake that, like, the fact that anyone believes him is kind of insane. The guy gets caught in lies all the time, and he has the exact same mannerisms. He gets a slight stutter. He gets overly dramatic. And the only video saying that he didn't go to a Diddy party is something he made himself. So it's like, okay then, yeah, I'm going to make a video about how back in the day I wound up doing something, and then, like, after that video goes up and it's just like, oh wow, you seem to remember a lot of that party that you're claiming that you didn't go to. And then like, now he just blatantly denies ever going. Like, oh, I remembered it very clearly. That thing that I never went to. I don't know how anybody can believe somebody who, like, is that bad at lying. Like, I don't know. Everything I've covered so far, like, I think just ending it on the Diddy party thing, like, everything else, like, before that, was a lot worse in my opinion. Personally, I don't know if he went to the, like, post one, the follow-up one, where they'd have underage prostitutes, kind of like the ones at that German brothel he went to. And I don't know. Everything I've thrown together here is just basically me showing, like, how the guy's a degenerate and, like, just a piece of shit. Previous video talking about him being a terrorist supporter, like, those were 2 out of the 3 talking points inside my original video. It was just like, terrorist supporter, like, he's a fucking degenerate. Next time I'm gonna be covering, like, him as a person, and just, like, how I think that he's a piece of shit in general, the way he presents himself, the way he goes about his morals. Like, the guy's a millionaire, son of a billionaire, communist that thinks that North Korea is a good country, and says that Russia was never communist. Like, he's an idiot, he's immoral, and a narcissist. And that's what the next video is going to be about. This one was specifically to just talk about him being an in general degenerate. And, like, during the making of this, I wound up doing, like, little bits of research towards some of these particular things. And what's crazy is, because he does, like, broadcast terrorist propaganda, so I did the math on, like, if he were to go to trial, how long he would be in jail after being sentenced, as well as, like, some fines. For the revenge porn thing, he's looking at about 5 to 10K with a 3 to 5 year sentence for that. And then the false report, that's another 2K plus a potential other 4 years. So far we're looking at a maximum 9-year sentence. Sleeping with sex trafficked minors, which that is speculative, or like anyone who is sex trafficked, like, that would make him a rapist, and that would give him a 3 to 8 year count for each individual one. So if even a single one of the prostitutes that he's slept with was a minor or was smuggled in through the sex trade and was a sex slave, that is a 3 to 8 year punishment. So far, like, that brings us to about 17 years. And distributing terrorist propaganda. Like, and that's the big one. Because in the United States, if you are caught distributing terrorist propaganda, you are seen as a traitor to the nation and will get a 20-year sentence for distributing terrorist propaganda, which I already talked about in the previous video, and he did that. So if he did wind up going to jail and got the maximum sentence for everything I've covered so far, who knows what else I'll find. Like, I initially started this off just thinking like, hey, the guy's a dick, he's a bit of a cockhead. But it just got worse and worse. Like, so far, we're at, like, 37 years. If he were to get incarcerated for literally everything. Like, the revenge porn thing, if he does wind up getting busted for that, and they choose to send him to jail, like, 3 to 5 years, that, like, the potential rape, since sex slaves cannot consent. So 3 to 8 years. So maximum so far of 37 and a minimum of 28 so far. Who knows what the hell else I'll find, like, when I continue researching into this guy. I initially made my first video because I thought the guy's a dick. And I just wanted to say my reasons for thinking he's a dick, the things that I've learned about him before doing actual research, and putting in the time and the research. Like, it's uncovering a lot more than what I was initially thinking. I just thought the guy was a cunt to begin with. I don't know. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Peace.